Hello everybody! Welcome to my ultimate Death Must Die tutorial. Death Must Die is an action-based roguelike game which is a great combination between Hades, Vampire Survivors as well as Diablo. In Death Must Die, you take control of one of 5 available hero classes to fight against hordes of undead enemies, kill bosses, gain experience, loot items and get stronger until you can defeat the end boss. And this game is currently in the early access status, but it has already a lot of content, a lot of classes, itemization options and a lot of replayability value. And I will summarize it as a pretty unique and rewarding experience. So look out for it. It's about $6 or $7 currently on Steam and absolutely must buy if you like roguelike games. So let's have a look on the campfire to see our available champion options. When you start the game fresh, you will start with Averin, the knight. If you play one run with him, you will unlock Maris, the sorceress. Afterwards Nixie the assassin, then Kront the barbarian, and last but not least Skadi the warrior class. As you can see below, each character class has 5 available specialization options. Those are named or called signs in this game. For example, if you select the sign of the Viper with Nixie, it will reward you with 10% attack speed every 3 levels you gain, up to a maximum of 100% that you can reach up when you reach level 30. And there are several specializations to play and to unlock. And how you can unlock them? For example, with Averin the Knight, I haven't played much, I must admit. I only played him until I unlocked Maris and then I got in the loop and played Nixie, etc. So Averin got a little bit neglected right now. Yeah. But I need to unlock those specializations because it will be fun to play and build and work around builds on this character, right? So how can I unlock it? If you want to unlock the specializations, you need to complete or get certain conditions in your playthroughs. And to find out what you need to obtain or which conditions you need to meet, you can move here to this shrine at the north section of your home base and you can select the corresponding hero, like here the Averin hero. And then you can select this signs, and at the bottom section you will see like the unlock conditions. To unlock the sign of the Guardian on Averin, I need to defeat the Baron with Averin, and Baron is the end boss of the game. He will spawn when you reach 20 minutes in your playthrough, but we will see him afterwards in the game. So, what else do we got? I mean, in general, this game has a lot of individualization and replayability value, and this comes together when combining the specializations individualized for each of the character class, equipments that you can obtain, and spells that you can utilize. So, we have seen the character classes and have seen the specializations available, so let's have a look on the equipment slots. When we open our equipment menu or inventory by pressing B, you will see 10 slots of equipment that you can utilize on your characters. Those consist of headgear, a torso gear, weapon of course, waist gear, hand gear, feet gear, as well as a relic, an amulet, a jewel and a ring. So speaking about equipment, it's important to understand that equipment has different rarity classes available. So from the lowest to the highest rarity class, we have simple, this grayish item, we have common, this is white, rare, which is blue, epic, which is purple, and mythic, which is kind of a magenta color. And last but not least, we also have immortal. Immortal is like the highest class obtainable in the game. And as you can imagine, the higher the rarity class, the more stats it can utilize on this item. So, for example, this immortal shoes can have a much higher upper boundary for movement speed. They have currently 80. Than my mythic shoes here, which have a lower upper boundary on movement speed, which is currently only 34. So the higher the rarity, the more stats it can provide. So there are also a few other things to consider when speaking about equipment. Let's start with boundary or binding equips. So, for example, if I have one fresh gear here, like this here, specialist hood, if you read the context or the text, it will say binds on equip. So this one is not equipped yet, so it's free to use on all characters which can equip light gear. For example, Nixie or also Maris. And if I equip this one on Nixie and hover on it again, it will say bound to Nixie. Now it means I cannot equip this on any other item who can utilize light armor. For example, if I de-equip this, switch over to Maris, it will be grayed out because it's bound to Nixie and it cannot be equipped. So always keep in mind when equipping items that you bind them on this particular character when equipping them. Okay, so let's continue with uniqueness. Normally, items can be dropped several times. Like this lucky belt, I could have it 1,000 times available. Yeah, it will be dropped over and over again. So each character could actually wear it, if I wanted. But there are unique items in the game. For example, these snow wedge socks. Those can be dropped only once and therefore also equipped only once to a character. You can see it on the unique modifier prior to the rarity identifier of the item. It says unique immortal, or this one says unique mythic. So this one can be only dropped once and it can also only be equipped once if you want to equip it on a character and then you decide, oh wait a second, it would probably fit better to another character, but I already got this item, it's already bound to a specific character. What can you do? You can sell this item on the vendor, which I will show you afterwards, or you can just drop this item and let it just be dissolved, destroyed, whatever. Then it will reappear in your item dropping pool again and it will drop at certain point of a game again, so you can loot it and re-equip it to another character. Besides that, you have items items can also have certain skills attached to them. For example, let's hover on the stagger here. It has the fiery touch ability attached to it. So this ability applies a burning status effect with a chance of 16%. So each time I attack, auto hit, there is a chance of 16% to apply this status effect. And this is a spell which is bound to this item. There are a lot of different status effects and spells and summonings, etc., which are bound to items, and that's also one additional layer of depth when building your character around a specific mechanic, and that's increases the replayability and also the fun a lot in this game. So those were the items in a nutshell, or the itemization options in a nutshell. As you can imagine, you have 10 equipment slots, and equips can be unique. Equips can have additional spells attached to them. So there are a lot of builds and combinations you can play, make it happen. You can build and just work around. So let's have a quick look on the left section this is the status summary of our character. So if I select another character, it will say, show their statuses. But let's have a look on Nixie's currently equipped stats. We have 6 sections here. The attack section, which specializes on like auto hits, melee hits in this case. We have this offensive section, which displays us the spell related improvements that we obtain through gear or through shrines in the game or through spells that we upgrade during our run, which I will show you afterwards. We have this dash section. So dash is like a faster moving forward spell that you can use. It has a certain amount of charges and it can help you cover a certain amount of distance when utilizing the dash, and it also has a cooldown attached to it. Then we have this utility section, which bundles together everything utility related, like pool area of experience shards, your luck, dices that you can utilize, revivals, passive experience gain, etc. The defense options are pretty straightforward. We have life regeneration, armor, damage reduction, evasion, movement speed, etc. So there is one thing important to understand pretty early in the game. You have a movement speed, that's the distance you move per second while not attacking. So if you move while not attacking. And then you have the attack move speed. This means when you attack and move, you will move slower than you would move without attacking. So as you can see, it's like 1/3 slower if I move with attacking, and this makes a huge difference when discovering areas, discovering shrines, etc. So it's a common mistake done by beginners, that you always auto attack and move, but that will decrease your speed like a lot. So keep in mind, only attack when required. Otherwise, move and discover as many and as fast as you can. And last but not least, we have the blessings of the gods. Gods in this game will provide you certain skill options during your runs to improve, to gain more spells, to improve your stats, etc. And those have also, similar to the equipment, rarities, which improve their stats provided by those specific spells. But we will have an in-depth look afterwards on them. And there is also the possibility that a new spell or blessing will occur. There is a possibility that a level up option will occur on already selected blessings, and a rarity up option will occur on already selected blessings. Rarity up is like upgrading from rare to epic in this case. So that's the stats in a nutshell. Before I forgot, let me mention something very specific in this game. The luck mechanics is a little bit different in comparison to other games. So luck in this game does not increase the chances of getting rarer quality items, but instead it works as a multiplier for chance-based everything. Chance-based objects, spells, items, blessings, etc. And if I say blessings, if you read the word blessings anywhere in the game, it means the spells that will be offered by the gods during your runs. But we will have a look on that afterwards also. So let's have a look on our fiery touch weapon spell here. It triggers with a chance of 16%, and that's pretty low, to be honest. And if I would like to increase it, I need to increase my luck. If I would reach, like, let's say 100% luck, it would double the amount of the chance. So it would be not 16, but 32 in this case. So that's how luck works in this game. Okay, so we have also reviewed the inventory. So let's have a quick look on the shop. In this game you have a shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper will provide you items. and this shop will refresh every time you make a run, and I think it was like 1 minute. You need to make like 1 minute length of a run, and then you can die or finish it. The shop will refresh, and of course you can buy here items. And you have at the bottom also a reservation slot where you can reserve items. Like I wanted to buy this feather in earlier runs. Maybe I didn't have the gold to cover its costs, or maybe I didn't knew. I wasn't pretty sure if I need it, so I just reserved it, and now it's here in this area. And keep in mind, your shop might look a little bit less populated when you begin the game, because the number of available options, items in this shop will increase throughout your game, increase throughout your played number of hours, and it's always randomized between the upper boundary and the lower boundary, and I mean, bestest you can have like 30 items here, and versus probably 20 or 20-ish if you played this game like 10 hours or so. So this is the shop. If you can sell items in the shop that you don't need, and if you hover over an item, you will see a sell price. And if you sold something but it was a misclick, and or you think after you sold it, oh wait, I made utilize it in another character, for example, you can go to the buy back section and just buy it back. So that's how the shop works. And as you can imagine, this game is pretty huge. Yeah, it has enormous number of items that can drop with special modifiers, special skills attached to them, unique, not unique, etc. So you will get a lot of loot during the gameplays. That's the relation to Diablo I made earlier. Yeah, you have this equipment, you have rarities, and you have a lot of items. And to store unused items, or maybe store items that you could utilize in another builds, another characters, you have a stash. Currently provided with 4 stash options or slots, and as you can see, my stash is pretty messed up. It's full of items, completely. To be honest, I lost the overview, but I mean, at some point in the game, I will need to tidy it up and sell a lot of items, although it will hurt, because I'm kind of a item keeper collector, and yeah, but anyway, you can utilize this item stash to stash items that you don't use yet, or use for another kind of build that you don't play right now, but you play maybe on an alternative run. So this is the stash. What else do we got here? I explained you the campfire with hero selection options. We explained the shopkeeper, the stash, and of course the unlock conditions here. Then during the game, when you kill monsters, like you kill 6,000 skeletons, you will unlock this achievement of 1,000 bones, and it will unlock like a skeleton. How can I see it in English? Sorry, my mother language is not English, obviously. It will unlock a decoration, a skeleton decoration. Yeah, and I killed here like this, defeat the Baron once in the game. You claim the Baron's trophy. Trophy was the word I was looking for. Yeah, trophy. And then it will be hanging up here somewhere, and if you interact with it, it will say some GG Baron, some interesting, funny things. And when you start the game, your how is it called? Sorry. Your difficulty will be set pretty easy, because you won't have those difficulty points to increase the difficulty of your playthrough. It will be like your 0, and the enemies will be completely on default, like default health, default damage, default movement speed, etc. And during your playthroughs, you will unlock automatically points, those difficulty points that you can spend here in this realm of difficulty, or on this difficulty Star Crux. And currently I play completely maxed out, so it's the hardest difficulty that you can do. It has the upside that it will increase the item rarity found in the game. So by increasing item rarity, you will face a lot more mythical gear, and your stash will probably end up like mine, and you will lose complete overview of it. But besides that, you will have a lot of items. You can sell those items. You can obtain gold. Gold can help you to buy new things in the store, etc. But just one step after another, I will recommend to start completely without any difficulty here aligned, and improve it like step by step if you feel comfortable with it. And there is besides increasing item rarity, there is no big upside of increasing difficulty. Yeah. Then let's dive into the game right now, and I will show you the main mechanics of the game. If you enter this dark area, the run will start. You start at 0 seconds, and the run will take up until 20 minutes. And as you can see, I moved a little bit around, and I already automatically got leveled up. Although I didn't kill any monster. That was due to my passive experience gain, which is assigned to my item at the moment. I get like 2.2 experience points per second, and that will help me leveling up quickly at the beginning of the game. Kind of a snowball system here. And when leveling up, a random god will show up and offer you his or her blessings, and these blessings are the spells or skills I mentioned earlier. Currently we got the Lady Justice showed up, and she offers us the blessing Merciful Strike, which will increase our auto attack and provide a status, Celestial Wings, which will improve our dash in the game, or for example Divine Shield, which is a spell, auto-casted one, so you don't need to actively activate it. It has a cooldown of half of a minute, and it will completely negate a hit that we take while this is active, like a Immortality Shield, unless you get hit once. Yeah. So those are the options, and you have always 3 options. And if you want to change those options, or you want to re-roll them, or you want to change the god you have been selected, you have 3 dices here. You have 1 banish dice, 1 re-roll dice, and 1 alteration dice. And the number of available options here is related to your gear. For example, gear can provide those options on it, or certain blessings can provide those options, etc. So let's go over them quickly. Banish, what does Banish make? Each god here has a pool of fixed or set blessings. Like, I think it's like 8 or 10 per god. Give or take the legendary ones that I will explain later. And if you banish one, like we don't want the Merciful Strike, right? It's an auto attack improvement, and for auto attacks and for dashes you can have only 1 improvement category. You cannot have if you selected Merciful Strike, you cannot select any other kind of strike afterwards. And let's say I want another attack. I don't want Merciful Strike. So I can banish it, and this will completely disappear in this run from the pool of available blessings. And if I re-roll, I can refresh all options, also the banished ones. Let's make this happen. And you see Merciful Strike will not be displayed anymore because it's not more available in our pool of available blessings for Lady Justice. So this is the banish and the reroll button, and you also have an alternation button. Alternation button is pretty handy because with alternation you can change the selected god. So we have currently Lady Justice. If we click on alternation, we have we will be provided by another separate god, Morai, goddesses of fate. And if we alternate again, we will have like Ligong, god of lightning. So you can scroll through available options here until you meet a god that you want to build around. Like, I mean, I love the god of lightning. He has pretty amazing options. And one of the things which is pretty nice is the lightning bolt. That will be auto-casted, the lightning damage strike. When you move around, if you have moved 700 distance, it will spawn like 7 lightnings. And let's select this one, for example. So you can already see if I move around now, lightnings will appear and strike the enemies. And this also works well with the dashes. So if I dash, I also make some distance, and then I will kill enemies. So I got now the second level up because of my passive experience gain again. And let's keep it here short. Let's take the deadly strike, for example. So now my auto hits apply a status effect called Curse, because it is in the description of Deadly Strike, and also they make more damage. So I can attack, make more damage and apply some curses.
It's so chilly down here. Let's get this
so
over
we
with
got
quickly.
the third level up now also, and now you will see we will get another god, Summer, goddess of fate, goddess of fire, sorry. And for example, let's take here the meteor shower. Yeah, just for explanation. So now meteors will rain down and damage the enemies. One important thing to keep in mind is you can your selected pool of gods can only contain 3 different gods. So as you can remember, we selected Lady Justice as our first god, Ligong as our second god, the lightning one, and Summer, the fire goddess, as our third god. So from now on, only those 3 gods will appear in our available options screens. So only those 3 will appear. So if you work around a build, you can only combine 3 different gods. There is one big exception to that. One big exception. There is one god, Morai. Let's see if we can alter her. No, we just use all our alteration rolls. But there is one additional god that is per default in the goddess pool. So it will like be 3 selected gods plus 1 always available one. So it's like 4 in total, but you can only actively select 3. But I will give you a short summary after this playthrough. Or after the guide. So okay, let's select anything now and let's explore the area a little bit. If you look on the minimap here, you will see those yellow items, or those yellow dots. These yellow dots show you altars in the game, like this Necromonicon here. If you go to it, and let me kill them first. So, and press E, you will gain a bonus. There are altars that give you a bonus instantly, like zack, you clicked on it and you got a certain improvement, and there are altars or shrines that let you choose which option you would like to get. And you can always just choose only one of those options. It's like a single select one. But those altars and shrines are several times available throughout the map, and there is a high possibility that we will encounter a second, maybe a third Necromonicon, and you can always choose whatever you want. If you choose like the occultism option, you don't need to always select this for the next upcoming ones. So let's select this one, for example, move down, and you will see here the Obelisk Sanctuary. If I activate it, that's this instant activation once, and this will grant me a shield and make me invulnerable for a shortened amount of time. And bosses or elite monsters will be you can identify them by this yellow crown symbol on top of their health, on top of their health bar. So normally they have more health, they have some special abilities, and like this one here is the boss monster right now, and he has this huge area of damage. You need to move or dash out of it so you don't get hit. And yeah, that's how the game works. I mean, in a nutshell, you roam around, you kill bosses, you improve your spells, and you try to pick up as many of those shrines as possible. Like this one is pretty amazing here. This will increase our max health or give us dash cooldown or a pretty OP buff for 1 minute. So let's go for the with the dash cooldown, for example. And as you go through the world, you will discover more shrines and more critical upgrades and damage upgrades and speed upgrades and area upgrades, etc. And also you will gain level after level after level, and this will make, to be honest, this will make also each run a little bit unique, because the setup of the shrines or the map layout is always randomized. The spells that you get, or let's say the order of spells that you get, how you unlock them, in which order, in which quality, in which rarity, it's also randomized. So it will add up a lot of replayability value here. Let's kill this shark to show you the boss loots. So if you kill a boss, this will appear, and if you press E on it, then it's like a level up. You can select one of the options here provided. For example, let's select lightning orbs, which will spawn lightning orbs to make additional damage, and yeah, those things here. And yeah, that's how the game works. I mean, and you just need to run through everything, kill everything. If you kill monsters, they will drop those experience shards, those green ones, for example, and you need to pick them up in order to gain experience points and in order to level up. One thing to keep in mind, you could click Q to enable auto attacking. Like I don't do anything right now besides running, but my character attacks automatically. But you will see I move a little bit slower than I usually move. So let's have a comparison here. I move upwards, auto hit enabled, and now I word upwards or sidewards, auto hit disabled. And what I would like to tell you is, try to disable auto hit and only hit if required. This will increase your movement speed, and this will increase the damage you will do. This is a huge beginner tip, and this will help you get more shrines during your playthroughs and get more experience points as well. Yeah, because shrines give experience points. You can move quicker, you can loot up quicker, etc. So it's better. So let's also have a look on this this event area here. At certain points in the game, like at 4 minutes, this area will spawn around you. It will decrease, as you can see, slowly, and it will trap you inside to fight against a horde of slimes. Yeah, like we did right now. And those kind of events occur throughout your gameplay. There will be like bosses showing up, boss fights showing up, invasion of slimes, invasion of skeletons, etc. And I don't want to spoiler too much, but it's good to know, I guess. Yeah. So I think I explained everything important right now. One last thing to mention is let's see if I can find a range. Okay, here's a range character. With auto hits, you can negate range attacks, like this fireball here. Or wait, let's wait again to have a fireball shower. ball fired. Here, have a look. Okay, yeah. So you can use auto attacks to like counter ranged attacks from enemies like this and this, and this will help you to survive, because if you auto hit them, they won't hit you, and if they don't hit you, they don't make damage. So it's improvement of survivability. Okay. Now let's have a look on the tab menu. If you press tab during your gameplay, you will see a list of selected boons or blessings from the gods that you have selected in your playthrough so far. You can hover over them to see what rarity, what kind of level, etc. And your specialization, your beginning perk, will be highlighted here with this golden area. On the right side, you will see an overview of boni you have obtained through activation of shrines. As you can remember, we have selected this dash cooldown and spell damage and spell critical chance, and this list will grow and grow and grow as you play, and it will provide you with a lot of additional stat bonies. So that's Death Must Die in a nutshell. Let's also end this run to have an in-depth look on gods, on bonies, on spells, on leveling up process, etc. If you finish a run, you will have a summary of skills and their level, their DPS, what time you occurred that specific spell, and how much damage it did throughout your run. And you will also have this overview of obtained blessings and the modifiers you utilized during your run. We have currently 8 gods available in the game. So when entering a run and getting those upgrade or spell options, it can be like one of those 8 gods. And if you roll alternation dices, you may switch from Chrome, for example, to Winter or to Morph, etc. But it will be only one from those 8 gods. As mentioned earlier, you can combine only 3 gods during a run, and the 4th one will be automatically assigned or per default assigned. And the gods which can be combined are those upper 4 and the first 3 here in the bottom section, and the one which is always available and per default in your pool of gods are those 3 goddesses here. It's one option, Moray, goddesses of faith. So let's have a quick look. We have Crom, who provides you with physical damage options like blades, whips, knockback options, etc. He is the god of conquest. We have Winter, goddess of cold. She will provide you with a lot of defensive options as well as damage making spells. But she builds around freezes, slowdowns, etc. Then we have Mort, daughter of the death. She will work around curses and high DPS options as well as summonings like the ravens you can see on the image here. Then we have Ligong, the god of lightning. He works around movement speed and auto-casted spells, as well as spell recovery rate, etc. So his team is like fast, moving fast, making spells fast, etc. Then we have Summer, the goddess of fire. She works around the burning state effect. Also, she increases the damage spells does, and she has a lot of damage making spells like meteors and fire breath, etc. Then we have Lady Justice, the goddess of balance. She works around defensive options like divine shield, increased health regeneration rate, making you invulnerable in certain situations, and she's like kind of a utility option. Yeah, and she also has a status effect called weakness that decreases the damage that affected monsters make on you. And then we have Time, the god of time. He works around experience gain, and shard drop rate and speed in certain situations, as well as increase of summoning damage, etc. So yeah, he is also pretty good to level up quickly. And last but not least, we have this default goddess here, goddesses of fate. They work around passive things like more health, additional critical hit chance, additional attack speed, etc. But they don't provide active spells. Like by active, I mean like the meteor shower you see earlier, or the lightning strikes, some things that are going to be activated. But those goddesses here provide like passive boni to your character. So, okay, let's continue and have a short look on the rarity of spells in the game. So, similar to items, spells come in certain rarity classes, and from lowest to highest, we have Novice, then we have Adept, then we have Expert, and last but not least, we have Master. So a certain spell like War Pact, which is provided by Chrome, can have one of those 4 rarities, and the best one is of course Master. And the rarity of the spells has a certain chance that they occur when you level up. So in general, you will start by around 85% of novice spells. So the chance that novice will occur is pretty damn high if you don't have any equipment and modifiers. And adept is per default 10% chance. So every 10th spell that occur might be adept, for example. Expert is only 3.3% chance, and Master is only 1.7% chance. By equipping items, gear to your character, you can modify those chances, and you can increase the chance that adept spells are shown, or Expert, or Master, or even Legend. But I will explain Legend in a minute. And normally, how it works is, everything added, all possibilities or chances summarized here, give you a base chance of 100%, and the default percentage is completely on novice. So what happens is, if you increase the adept chance from 10% to 20%, for example, the novice chance will be decreased by 10% because adept has been increased by 10%, and if you increase the spells of the higher rarities, the novice chance of appearance will decrease and decrease and decrease, and at some point you won't even see them anymore. So that's about rarity. Let's have a look on legend. Legend spells are also spells provided by the gods, but they're like one kind of. They don't have rarity classes. They are just legend. And for example, First Strike don't have a novice, adept, expert, or master rarity. It's always legend, and they are pretty hard to find. As you can see, per default, it's below 1%. With equipment, this increases significantly. And legend options can only spawn on top of master options. So how it works is, normally you will roll like by, let's say, 2% chance that one spell will be master, and there is an additional chance 0.43 that this master spell might mutate into a randomized legend spell. So if you level up, you won't see War Pact Master displayed, but instead you will see First Strike Legend displayed. So this is how spell rarities work. Then let's continue with different abilities in the game. As you see earlier, we have attack modifiers. And we have melee classes, currently 4 in the game, and we have range classes, currently 1 in the game. Only Maris, the sorceress, is a range class currently. And the auto attack spells, the auto attack blessings, each god will provide a own version of auto attack improvements, and if you selected one, you cannot change it anymore, and other options will not be displayed. You can use this summary here to compare and select your most promising ones. Besides that, certain auto attacks as well as other spells in the game can grant certain status effects to the enemies. For example, let's go back. Deadly Strikes makes your auto attacks become stronger and resolve curse status immediately. So what does it mean? What is curse status? If we go back here, Cursed says it has a duration time of 1.6 seconds. Affected minions take 66 damage over this certain time, and it scales triple times from spell damage bonuses. So when using Deadly Strike, you don't have to wait 1.6 seconds anymore, because if a monster is already cursed and you auto attack it, it will just resolve immediately. So you can also pause this video and have a look on the stats overview here. Let's continue with dashes. So each of the gods will also grant you their version of a dash. Like Mort, the daughter of the death, will give you lifelink as a dash, or Chrome will give you a charge as a dash. And this will significantly change the way you play, and also the way you dodge, like defensively, or the way you approach enemies, like aggressively. For example, Charge and Lifelink are dashes that make damage. Charge makes damage if it connects to the enemy. You have like blades rotating around your character while you dash, and if you dash through enemies or to enemies and you hit them, you will make damage. Here damage 28 to 35, and lifelink will like create links, so spell links from your character to the surrounding enemies and also damage them over a certain amount of time, and heal you if you're below 30% of health threshold. And you can also pause the video and have a look on the spells or the dashes here. Also keep in mind you can only have one dash modifier active. So what else do we have in the game? We have NPCs in the game. And NPCs, those are NPCs that can occur during your runs. So those are not the NPCs displayed in the base of your of the game, but not in the base camp, but in the run itself. And those will provide you with several options. I will just go quickly through them. You can pause the video and read it if you would like to. They grant you options like the shrines we saw earlier in the game. And if you select one, you get stronger or gain more luck, etc. So besides that, we have a lot of shrines in the game. I will also go quickly over the shrines. Feel free to pause the video and read the descriptions here just to get you updated. On the top left of the screen is how the shrine will look in game, like the NPCs also here, so you can recognize them easier. And this will help you to come up with certain build ideas, because you know what options are available there for you, right? Of course, you cannot influence which shrine will appear where and if you will see it in your run, but in case you see a shrine, then you know which option to select for which kind of build at least. So we have a lot of shrines, to be honest. I will just say a few words to special shrines, just like Clover Garden here. Here, if you lose 100 gold, it will give you it will drop a randomized item probably of higher quality. So in this case, I would always select the upper option, because you will get a lot of gold through your runs. Yeah, maybe not in the early game, but I mean, play like 2 hours, 3 hours, and you will be rich. Yeah, it's pretty fast. It's pretty fast. You get a lot of drops. You sell them because you can't use everything, and you have also shrines which give you gold additionally. And therefore you will gain a lot of gold during the game. So no worries. So let's also go quickly over that. Some shrines, like the Shard of the Fallen here, has some downside effects. Yeah, for example, you lose 22 max health, but in comparison you gain 33 attack damage on top. So if you have a lot of health, that might be a solid option to take. But if you only have like, I don't know, 50 or 40 health, maybe that is not a good option, because you will die very quickly when you lose your max health or reduce your max health. Yeah, there are some shrines which are pretty overpowered. And for example, the Shrine of Music, if you get them in the early game, I will recommend always to get the passive experience gain, because over the span of 20 minutes that you play, you will gather a lot of experience through the shrine. Also, this can be stacked right in one run. I found like 5 of them. Yeah, just imagine how much experience per second I got at the end. That will also help you a lot to level up faster and quicker. Besides that, some shrines sound sometimes, the downsides sound pretty horrible. Like this one, you take 50% more damage. Yeah. But if you play like a defensive kind of build, that might not affect you much. So you might want to select this option anyway. Or this one here is my absolute favorite, to be honest. You lose 1 life every time you dash, but your dashes gain 60% additional range and are 50% faster cooldown. So in this case, I mean, okay, faster cooldown means you dash more. Dashing more means you lose a lot of health. But keep in mind, you are very mobile. You will just zoom through the map, and you will find a lot of health options. So the downside here reads horrible, but in actual gameplay, it's pretty easy to compensate. And this is pretty amazing. It makes a lot of fun. Try this out, guys. So another one is can be used to gain rolls for the spell modifiers or selection that we saw earlier during the level up screens. Then we have the Shrine of the Swan. This is also not self-explanatory, so let me explain it. It's like a gambling game. Yeah, you can test your virtues, and you have 2 possible outcomes of it. You succeed, it's randomized, or you fail, it's also randomized. And if you succeed, you will increase the luck, your stat luck, and if you fail, you will decrease your stat luck, this is by a certain percentage. So it's like gambling. Or you can say, it's just a dumb bird. Anyway, let's move on. And you can ignore it. So those are pretty self-explanatory. Let me share a few thoughts on this shrine. This shrine, Tree of Wisdom, this is the most OP one that you can get in the early stages of the game. For example, in one playthrough, I just started and I moved like 100 meters or so. It was like 8 seconds of the game, and I encountered this Tree of Wisdom. I immediately selected the middle one option here because it is pretty overpowered. You cannot get you cannot get master or legendary boon offers anymore. So your blessings can't be master or legendary state. But they will be always expert. And expert, that's like that's like the second best option available to spells. Let aside legendary, because that's a unique class on its own. But this means you will have a pretty OP run from the starting point of the game. You will only have expert rarity of spells. They will make more damage. They will have faster cooldowns. They will have bigger range, etc. Heal you better, give you more armor, etc., etc. And this stacks up during the game, and it will be pretty awesome. So always select this one if you have the possibility and the game has freshly started. It doesn't make to select this one in case that you have already selected your core build of blessings or boons, so you don't select any new mores anymore, and since this affects only newly displayed blessings, it won't have any effect until the downsides. You will lose master and legendary offers. So that's the Tree of Wisdom. Urban Bear increases the rarity of items found. The Witching Tree is also pretty awesome. If you're in the early stages of the game, always select Engulf to gain like over 100% more experience. That's more than doubled your experience gain. Downside is all skills offered are novice, so the worst rarity class, so the worst damage outcome in the end. But keep in mind, because you level faster, you will level your skills faster. So for example, you will reach level 10 much quicker as you would have earlier. And level 10 means you have 10 spell upgrades, and spell upgrades also increases the damage, etc., right? So if you get level 10 and have a novice spell, but it's on level 5 probably, or 4, it makes a lot of damage. But if you level slower and are only level 4 and have a master spell which is only level 1 or 2, you see the comparison. So leveling fast also accelerates the strength you grow throughout the game. And also keep in mind, novice spells can be upgraded to adept and then to mist mastery, etc. So that's not a big downside. This is also pretty good at the early stages, not at the last stages of the game. If you're at the last stages of the game, like you're at 18th, 19th minute, then select the upper one to get more damage for the final boss encounter. So that was the spells, the shrines in a nutshell. At least the shrines that provide an option for you to select. Now let's have a quick look on good to know things that you might want to know. So here's a graph on the item number of available in the store. So if you visit the vendor in the game and you started just playing the game, you will be displayed on average 4 or 5 items, because the store hasn't built up yet. You haven't seen many items, many game time. So it will show a little bit of less options than my store right now. But during your playtime, and maximum at 10 hours, you will have like on average 27 item options in the store. So don't be depressed if you only see a few options. It will grow naturally as you play. Besides that, here is a chart on the level requirements. Just keep in mind, Death Must Die don't have a max level limitation. So in theory, you can reach even level 100. Or this graph shows even level 120. But it will be very hard, or maybe also impossible. I don't know. I only reached like level 52 at max right now. The thing is, you have limited playtime. You play only until 20th minute, and then the end boss encounter appears, and it's not possible to gain like infinite experience in a limited time space. Besides that, monster spawn also not quick enough to provide you a endless number of experience, and you don't kill them enough to get that experience, kill them fast enough. So what you can do is you can get equipment with passive experience on it, or you can also modify the experience that you gain per default. There is this percentage experience modifier. It works like any other percentage modifier. If you have like 10% more experience gain, you will gain 110 instead of 100 experience by a shard, for example. Those numbers were made up. Yeah. And yeah, at the start, at the starting of the game, you will probably reach like in your first playthrough maybe level 15 or 20 because you die quickly, you don't have any items. Later, when you're equipped, you will reach like 25 or 30. And later, if you have items with level here experience modifiers or passive experience gain, you will see 50-ish kind of level numbers, and you can even go beyond that, but you need pretty good equipment and pretty fast killing speed and pull range for that. Okay, let's conclude this session with a short look on the roadmap reveal, which was communicated from the development studio, and this contains their targets and goals for the upcoming year. So the roadmap shows that there will be a holiday surprise, which is already live by the date, and this includes some visual updates in the game, like decorations in the base camp and monster visual upgrades, as well as a Christmas tree with some immortal items in Christmas gifts wrapped below the tree. A big update is that they currently work on an Act 2, so they work on a new location in the Death's Realm, and this will be an endless desert. This endless desert environment reminds me a little bit on Diablo, has some Diablo feeling, and I love it. This looks really great, looking really forward to see it. They will also publish a new god, and the visual here, it looks like this will be a god wearing a greatsword, and I think it could be something like Crom, some god providing physical based abilities, but let's see. And the best part of it is they will reveal, or they will publish a new character. It's an archer class, a second range class in the game, and I'm really looking forward for this update because range classes are awesome in games like Death Must Die or Diablo. So really looking forward to this. Of course, this update, the Endless Desert, will also provide some new items, some new abilities, some new uniques, etc. And speaking about items, they will enable the tier 2 items, because currently in the current available map or location, we can only obtain tier 1 items, which are limited in their stats and power level, and tier 2 items will be even stronger than that. So they will provide more stats or stronger spells, stronger abilities, etc. And of course there will be also some new enemies that we will fight against, and they will also work on new map objects, and they will also improve the lore and contain the lore. So looking at this, the updates I listed here, they will be released in the Q1 of the upcoming year. And looking far into the future, they have also a few goals on their agenda. They work on duo god blessings, character talent trees, which will be really awesome because right now we can only individualize characters by selecting a specification and of course by gear, and utilizing character talent trees will add a little bit more depth into the gameplay and much more possibilities for character building and customizing builds in general. They will work on more characters, so this will be awesome. Hopefully they also work on a summoner class, which will utilize solely on minions, or just use minions to deal damage, like improved version of the Mort, Daughter of the Death god. But let's see. They will work on set items. This is also again a point which reminds me on Diablo, because set items are items which will grant you certain boni if you have more items utilizing from the same set. Like you have the torso of the set and the shoes of the set and the helmet of the set, then you will have a 3-point set boni, for example. So this will be also great for builds as well. And later they will also release a Act 3, a shop reroll function, item loadouts, whatever this might be, quality of life improvements, of course, and some localizations. So there is no release date set to those updates. They're still in process, and this is to be announced. But it looks really promising so far. I mean, looking forward, the game is currently in the early access stage, and even though it's an early access, it provides a lot of functionality right now, and they already promised like a new character, a new god, a brand new big location to play through. So I think we will have some nice upcoming updates in this game, and I'm pretty sure the studio behind this game will also maintain it in the upcoming years, because it looks really promising so far. So this was the summary and the ultimate guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to leave a comment below the video. Excuse me very much that it took a long time. I guess we're currently above 1 hour. But I summarized everything in detail, so you have a very nice understanding by now how this game works and how you can utilize builds and how you can roam around and improve your character. So let's keep it short. Thanks again. I will post character build guides on this channel in the upcoming days. So stay updated. Have a look now and then, and see you in the next video. Thank you, guys.